session of the Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. Today is October 16th. The time is 5:30. And if you're here, please turn off your phones or turn them, put them on stun. And if there's any conversations outside of the meeting, go ahead and take them outside. We're going to go ahead and start again with project properties. We've got two, and Carol's going to lead us in a lot of this stuff. Tim is from Kip Hampton. He's with us to share some information. They've been a great partner in the past. And my understanding is 101 Pine has withdrawn at this point in time,
yes,
right?
currently
Okay.
their building is up for sale, and so I did let the real estate agent know that once they get a seller, to give our name out so they can come forward at that point.
Okay, great. We're going to go jump into Kip Hampton. Tim, welcome. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right. Well, please. Again, some of the things we're doing, and we're getting some good guidance at the city level through our city manager, and to try and find the things that we can accomplish. Try and find that project that we can put our hands around, work through from beginning till end. And so we've done some great projects with you guys in the past, and so what we did is we decided to invite some of our property owners, building owners within our service area that want to cooperate and work with TURA to come forward and not pitch us, but let us know what they're doing so we can actually maybe bring what toolbox we have, what tool set we have to help them. So could you share with us tonight?
Yes, I think I can. You know, things are up in the air a little bit since Mr. Chimino passed, but we have some properties that we're not certain what we want to do with them, but they might be ideal for this type of a project. You know, we have some property on Main Street and I'm trying to think of the addresses, 315, 317 Main. We have a property 313 Main, which we did some improvements on in the past. And then we have 319 Main. They're all kind of office / housing. Well, a couple of them they're pretty right. One of them, 315 to 317, our plans were originally to do some sort of housing, build some apartments in there, but we just didn't get to it. So we also have a property I'm trying to think of the address, over on Elm. Is it Elm? It used to be the Hughes Lumber Building.
Oh yeah, we know about that one.
That's Plum.
Yeah,
Plum.
that's another one. We were planning, that was going to be a building that we're going to use for parts storage and some offices when we were building the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ford building, the new dealership. And it looks like that's not going anywhere now. So now that building we're not sure what we want to do with it, how we can use it to its best and highest use. The first floor previously had some offices. The upstairs was really a storage area. It's a really nice building. It's brick, and then the lot next to it is actually very usable. The city uses it in the early summer to set up all their flowers. That lot, but we were going to use it as a parking storage for vehicles. So these are kind of the properties that may be eligible for or of interest for some sort of project with TURA. So we're sort of open. When Tara approached myself and Gina Chimino, and Gina's out of town right now, said, do you have any interest? And we always have an interest in trying to do stuff with the city. So in some capacity. So I said, yeah, I'd be happy to come on and kind of hear what this is all about and see if it fits for us and what we can do to help you and what you can do to help us.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to let the team Got any questions for?
I'm just interested in, seeing
Mark?
going forward,
No questions.
No.
Just, what do you guys like want to see there? I mean, I know you said you don't have any idea, but what else could you imagine there?
Well, the Hughes Lumber Building is a building. Obviously, could be an office. It could be a shop. It could be a retail outlet. The same with the properties on Main Street. The 319 West Main, we had a tenant for a dance studio initially, and then his whole funding and everything didn't come together, so we let him out of his lease. That was a few years ago. And so, but we redid the entire inside, and it would have worked. We have been approached previously for that space by somebody for a retail outlet. And then, because Jay had passed, I sort of put it on hold, and I'm not sure that the individual's even interested anymore. But I need to reach out to him, and I have that on my list of to-dos. I just haven't gotten to it. On Main Street, I think retail is probably an ideal fit. These spaces they're not really set up for probably a restaurant or something. I mean, you could do it. 313 Main used to be Delmonico's, which was a bar and restaurant, I think. So, and we redid that, and then the Chronicle moved in there for a long time until they got sold. And then the new company moved somewhere else in town when our lease expired. So the uses are limitless. I don't know what else we can, we're open to anything that we think can help the downtown and help bringing people in and whatever else we can do to help in that regard. So, Jay was always open to a lot of ideas. My job with Jay really was to bring him options, and he liked those better than me giving him my opinion. So, and that's where we're at now, is looking at what options could be viable in there to bring these properties back into full use, and that's where we're at.
Hey Tim, I do have a question. Have you done any feasibility studies on any of these buildings?
We have not.
So I have referred a Volkswagen mini microvan business that was interested in the used lumber building to Gary a couple of months back. They were really interested in that building. I'll follow up with that. Is we also have a brewery that may be interested in that building, in the used lumber building. So I think the used lumber building, out of what we are seeing right now, is the one we can probably has the most potential to it.
Sure.
And again, that has to do with first the location, the busy center of commercial there, and also that extra lot next door to it, and some parking close by. So I think that's something that I think we can do. And there's stuff for us. TIF really matters. Okay, so we really need to look at things that are going to bring in those kinds of dollars. So housing is not something that we
Right.
kind of make housing not our focus, because the city can approach that from a number of different ways. They've got different tools to use in order to do that. So our focus is really more on the revitalization and then on increasing TIF to kind of be just real specific of how we fund ourselves. So we'll be creative. I can say that the Alliance would love to help you market those buildings, because it's really in our interest, the city's interest, and other organizations, not just TURA, for TURA to work with other organizations to see if we can't make those buildings available to somebody, because you said, we want ideas, and if somebody knows that's available, they may have the idea that actually fulfills it. But not knowing what's available on our Main Street and Commercial Street is almost like we don't have anything available, and we do. So I don't know what we're going to do right now. I do know that we can do some things with the used lumber building, potentially in a collaborative way. Again, whether it's us or not there. So I know that's something that we probably should take a little closer look at. But the other buildings, some of those are more office space wise, and I'd have to actually ask
Correct.
some of our experts, how do we best work with office space? And then the second floors being housing, and how do we best work with that? And to be kind of honest with what I know right now, they're probably not great TURA projects unless we got creative, if that makes sense, you know? Again, I think Tara, do you see some things we can do with any of the Main Street properties there?
Honestly, we could on the commercial side, if and I've been told by DCI that you can do where we'd only focus on the commercial portion, we wouldn't focus on the top part. It would be like cutting out a piece of the building and only working with that part of the building.
So the Demonica's building, you guys did a great job of that, because when the Chronicle moved in, that's a really nice space, okay? Are the other buildings because I would say that almost doesn't need anything on the commercial space for somebody to move in there, because somebody has moved in there before. What about the other spaces? Are those in need of rehab?
315 and 317, which is basically one building, main floor and upstairs. It needs total
Okay.
renovation and rehab. It needs a roof. It just needs everything. The 319 building is a very nice space and really doesn't need much. You know, we used it when we were still the majority owner in Trinidad Commercial Construction before Carl, our partner, offered to buy us out. We used that as an office, just in the front, and that's why we weren't trying to lease it at the time. But that's a good space. If you ever wanted to tour it or get in it, see it, I think you'd be impressed with it. It's nice. The back part is a wide open. As I say, we built it out to be a dance studio, so. It's just a big room, wood floor, and so the sky's the limit as what somebody could do with it. And I agree with you with housing. We've got our hands full with the Holy Trinity School,
Yeah.
so we don't want any more housing at this point. So that's a big project for us. That's gonna be in the neighborhood of about $18 million, and so we're going to focus on that for the next 2 years. So to build some housing in these units, we're not there. And Jay really wasn't when he was still here. He didn't know what else to do.
Got it.
But we're open. We're
Okay.
open to that. If you're interested in the used lumber building, we're interested.
Well, I'm gonna put some folks in contact with Gary, and we'll see if we can't just be not middlemen, but let's see if we can't be a conduit to some ideas, and some opportunities. Tara has something to ask.
So thoughts both, hey Tim, it's Tara Marshall, how you doing?
Yes. Good, how are you?
So good. So thoughts on two fronts. First, for Kip Hamden. So the Urban Renewal Authority could do a partnership in two ways. One could be if you were willing to work with them on a long-term acquisition that they could pay out off the revenues that they drew from the development, from the building. The other would be, would Kip Hamden retain the building and then partner with Urban Renewal for Urban Renewal to provide some funding for upgrades that were needed. So just asking you from the Kip Hamden perspective, which is more attractive to you, a partnership where you own the building and Urban Renewal partners with you to provide some tax dollars back for development, or for Urban Renewal to eventually own the building and for you to help make that feasible for them financially over time?
I think, from my perspective, and I speak for our board that really kind of operates our enterprise now, that I think to build something out for Urban Renewal to maybe take it over in the long run would be the most appealing.
Okay.
We have a lot of holdings down there in Trinidad, and I think without Jay, who went down there frequently, he was down there usually almost every weekend. Jay was kind of our eyes and ears in Trinidad. He'd go down and see things and then come back. We don't have that as much, so I think something that is long lasting for the town is probably more appealing to us.
Okay.
So if we could do something where we partner in the development and then find a way to like eventually, whether it's short term or long term, to transfer it over.
Okay.
So we step back out of it.
Okay. So
It allows us to spend more time on maybe some other projects. As you know, Tara, we have other buildings down there
yeah.
that we want to eventually do something with. So
I think,
but again, we're open. If it works, if it's feasible and it helps the city, it helps TURA, it helps us. We're open to other things too.
so,
We are using some tax dollars to help us renovate, so that somebody else can occupy that space as a tenant, or maybe even that person eventually is an ultimate buyer one day.
So there's nothing that would preclude Urban Renewal from doing multiple things with the developer.
Understand?
It sounds like Hughes Lumber would require some build out, some marketing, some thought to go in. It sounds like something more like the Delmonico or the dance studio is close to being ready now. So those agreements might look completely different. Speaking first about the properties on Main that are ready to go, if you were to enter an agreement and market it and get a retailer in there, then maybe how that rent's collected and how that rent then goes toward TURA's long-term acquisition of that property could look like that. Maybe you do eventually develop the housing upstairs, and I'll just remind you that the urban renewal plan includes all commercial property within the boundaries minus the housing, the properties that are zoned housing properties. So everything down here is zoned to mixed use. So it's very much available for you to develop
Okay.
housing on the upstairs.
I'm glad.
And
thanks for
then
the
rent
clarification,
becomes
yes.
a revenue stream for you. So if Kip Hamden was ready on one of those properties that you could actually put a retail operation in immediately, if they were ready to do something like that, then maybe some of the revenue that's drawn off of that could go toward rehabilitating the upstairs. Then now you're collecting rents on the downstairs and upstairs. I would think if you were interested in working with Kip Hamden, maybe one of the next steps, if Tim and the board is of a mind, would they open the books up and let us see what they've been renting it for in the past? What can you expect to draw as a revenue stream off of that? And then
Yeah, we'd be
Tim,
happy to do that.
you'd be, okay, and then Tim, what could we work a long-term agreement where based on those revenues, the authority could put some money towards the development of the rest of the property and some money towards a long-term acquisition, maybe that accelerated over time as tax dollars or rent properties came off of it. So that's one example of how that property could work.
I'm glad you clarified that, thank you.
Yeah, Hughes Lumber, where you need more development, if you could do a feasibility study for what might go in that and how you might use that lot or that property. Or if you don't feel like you need a feasibility study, it's a little different because Tim can provide some immediate data on how these Main Street properties have been rented and used, and you can get an idea off the cuff pretty quickly of what those revenue streams would be. If you were to do Hughes Lumber Company, that might be the example we talked about, where you enter a partnership with Kip Hamden and you go to the bond market and get actually a bond, a loan, so that you could renovate that property and put something in it. Then both that bond and the acquisition of that property is paid for over time through sales tax and property tax that's collected. So that could be a completely different kind of arrangement if you wanted to go down both roads. Once again, not recommending either one at this time. But if you wanted to look at a fast project, sounds like Tim's willing to work on maybe some of these Main Street properties where he's got some data on what that revenue looks like. Now we're getting closer to the point where you could look at what you would need, and Mr. Benedetti could start advising you on next steps.
No, that's such great input.
Okay.
And Tim, just to be kind of transparent, one of the things we're doing is we're reaching out to all the property owners within our service area. So that also means properties over near the college, in that area, in order to try and see what can be that one big beautiful property or project that we're working on. So this certainly has opportunity. That's what we're looking for. And again,
Yeah.
Marshall, thank
Sure.
you very much. That was awesome. Tim, unless you have anything for us, we're gonna let you have the rest of the night off.
Great. Well, you just let me know. I mean, I talk to Tara
Tim?
on occasion, as do other people in our company, and our eyes and ears are wide open here to listen and see what's available.
Well, we've been such great partners. Commissioner Heck has one more question.
Tim, when I met with Carl at the building, he had mentioned that the roof might need some work up there. Is that still
It definitely does.
Is that still an issue?
The roof yes, it does.
I think all roofs in our area could use a little bit of work, you know. So, Tim, thanks again.
Yes.
I will follow up with you, Tim, okay?
Okay, that'd be great.
Thank
And
you.
Kip Hampton has been such a great
Have a
partner.
good
Thank you so
evening.
much. Take care.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So, excellent. And again, Tara, I think I believe TB.
TV.
TB. I think we still want to keep on going out there and trying
Yeah,
to see
no,
somebody,
I
and
still-
invite some folks in. I think our timing, what we're doing this is on our timing, but some of these developers, they have their own timing. So I think if they just know we're open for business and we're open for, dialogue.
I was gonna send out more letters again, but I figured if we can do multiple projects. Thankfully, we're not that limited.
Exactly.
So we can do, if we get one going with Kip Hampton and we get a project going there, we can look at another project too.
Well, I
So
think
I'm still gonna reach out with everybody else. Like I said, 101 Pine, they're not gonna go forward, so that one's off, but we might possibly get the next owner, whoever buys the building, so she's looking for owners on that front. Penny Saidi never reached back out to me.
okay.
I did hear from
It would have been
Miller.
nice. It would have been nice to hear from Penny. That's a great project.
Miller doesn't wanna do anything with TURA, so that would be.
Who's that?
That's the one
Dave?
that, oh, yeah.
So is that the Civil War? Yeah.
Savoy.
Yeah, I know Dave.
Yes, that was commented on. But he said no, so I was like, okay, but at least he responded. I mean, he did respond. He did call and talk to me. So.
And when we know, and again, I want to keep this kind of loose and not pin anybody down in, but will we know anything with regards to the Jaffa? I mean, it's sad that some of these things get played out in places where they should be played out. You know what I mean? And so, what's that?
It's on items for future discussion.
Yeah, it's on there for items for future
Okay,
discussion.
I don't see that. All right.
Under 6.
Six. Yeah, I just have items for future discussion with nothing underneath that.
Oh, you must have printed an old one.
Okay. Yeah, didn't get the update.
I gave you another.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on then. I think that was a success, and
Sure.
Darren Marshall, thank you so much, because knowing here's the thing, we have the ability to have options, and we have the ability to do things now, and so I think we need to certainly be prudent, be good stewards of these dollars, make sure we're getting partnerships together. But I think we can actually boldly go into at least some discussions with people, and at least talk to folks about stuff, and we haven't been in that position in a while, and again, we're fortunate to have somebody that really understands TURA and is very supportive of TURA. And so I think, let's keep moving forward, right?
I had a quick question for Jeff. What roof were you talking
The
about?
used lumber.
Used lumber
Used.
company.
Okay.
The building is totally stripped down inside, so if anybody goes in there, it's
Yeah.
it's basically
went
cosmetic
in-
work inside.
They had some kind of auction there a couple of years ago, and I went through all that.
We were actually working with them pretty closely, and we one of our members went in there and was working with Carl and taking an inspection. We were working with Tim. We've been working with folks in the past. We were working with the Jaffa House. We've worked with some other things. And again, I think the direction we have right now with regards to let's find that something
Right.
that we can really start forward with and be in a little more control. So we're going to move that. Please, Tara.
Chairman, before we move on from this discussion, can you provide, please, as a group, some feedback to Tara Booth on next steps as it relates to Mr. Lamb? So that if you want that retail information, we can request it. if you want any property evaluation or anything regarding the properties he talked about. We don't wanna leave that hanging for the
Well,
next meeting.
how this has been set up though, is that's where that, we call it a retreat, but it's not much of a retreat.
Okay.
We were going to go through the processes of here
Okay,
and then take more
perfect.
time during that
Okay.
time to whomever was there to actually go through it into the details. So I think
Okay,
we're still on track
Yeah,
to do
we're,
that.
it's set up for
It
the
may
20
end up if we end up being though, that this is the dog we have in the
Okay.
race then we'll accelerate maybe that conversation if that's okay with everybody.
I can still ask him for some of the
Oh,
data
please
so
do.
that we can have it for the meeting on the 21st, but it will be on the 21st. It's set up at the Commons from 10 to 2. So I sent you guys the requests, so that is set up, but I'll ask him for at least some of the data so that we can have it on each of the buildings.
21st of November, right?
Yes,
Should be a Friday, right?
yes.
Yep. And so,
would
yes.
that be helpful to your discussion then? to
Without a
have that
doubt.
data?
And actually,
Okay.
I really like how how the discussion's kind of continuing, is Tara, let's do that with anybody that comes forward with us in between there, so everybody gets a fair shake and they're respected with regards to what their time schedules and
For
projects
your
are.
retreat, would it be helpful for staff on the city side to list the possible agencies or funding through grants or
Yes,
other things that Tara Booth can bring to that discussion?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
definitely.
So she can work with property owners that come forward and get specific information, anything they have that they're willing to share on what that revenue might look like or what the building condition might look like to the commissioner's point, anything that they know of. And then what we can do on the staff side through development services and the city manager's office is create a list of grants that the city could be eligible for and or TURA. Grants for TURA are hard, grants for the city are a little easier. Grants for nonprofits or historic preservation is sometimes easier
okay.
too, so we could bring a list of what those might look like.
Actually,
For the discussion.
we do need and desire help in knowing what our toolkit
Right.
and tools are.
And that's
You know?
one of the things I was gonna bring up. We had a meeting with DCI on what they're willing to come forward and help us with, and we are looking at possibly doing a 101. So they'll be giving us our whole toolkit.
And we're not talking about just you, we're talking about you and the new city council.
We
Perfect.
figured they would
Oh,
probably be
that-
the best to bring forward
Very
too,
good.
so that we all get that information at the same time, cause we're gonna have to go to the city council with our agreements to ask them to sign off, and they need to know what, as a TURA, we can do, so they can sign off properly. So having that information with all of us would be an awesome.
So we're looking probably at February for that.
Okay.
One thing that was very encouraging, I went to the candidates forum at Main Street Live, and somebody that's worked there for quite a while said, well, a year ago, we only had 12 people in the audience, and the entire first floor and most of the mezzanine was filled with Trinidad citizens.
So we're getting a lot of, especially with our candidates, a lot of our candidates are good on knowing a lot what we do, so that will help us. So I think we've got some good candidates, so whoever our new city council is gonna be, will hopefully come to the 101 with us, and we'll be able to get us all in the same boat, so we all are leveled.
Yeah, I think that will help. I've always been appreciative of the current city council and the previous city council and the folks who throw their hat in the ring to be the next city council. I think so these are all just, to me, always really good people that care. I think them knowing what we do and them understanding that they can actually put us to work on things is really going to help with the community.
And then also to understand their responsibilities as they actually approve the development agreements for urban renewal.
Yeah.
That provide you with sales tax dollars.
So yes, no one is half
Thank
as
you,
bad as
Chairman.
they say. Thank you so much. So let's move here. Where am I? This. Tara, B, training in Pueblo, the Colorado TIF Summit.
Yep, I just wanted to let those that have been registered know we are registered. Derek and I have the hotel room. 3 o'clock on that Thursday is when they want us to meet for the tour. And so that's what I put us down for me, Mark, and Derek. And then Derek, what time did you want to meet here for pickup before we leave?
Whatever time's fine with you.
Okay. About 1?
One?
That'll get us time to get to Pueblo and get checked in before. All right.
Awesome. Really appreciate you guys making the time to do that. That's a great investment.
We are meeting with the lawyer while we're there.
Paul?
Paul, yes, and the new lawyer,
And his,
because, yeah, he's got a new lawyer now.
okay, we'll move on to, item 4, budget. Tara?
I did include our budget. On Friday, am posting that into the paper, because I have to submit in, there's a schedule I have to follow. I need to put it in the paper for the full month of November, before as an announcement that we have a budget for 2026, and that they can come here and look at it if they wanna come to City Hall, so.
Anybody have any comments or questions with regards to that? No. I just have one. In our last meeting, we talked about creating a marketing and kind of promotion budget.
That I did put down as a
Sorry.
comment, it was in the notes, I didn't know how much, I need you guys to tell me so I can add it, so that would be a question for you guys.
Yep.
How much time do we have to discuss that?
When's the budget submission?
We won't do the budget vote until November, so we have until November,
Prior to the 21st or after the 21st?
the 12th.
Are we meeting on the,
We're meeting we'll have our regular meeting in November, including the retreat.
Let's put that as something so we can spend some time there, okay?
Okay, I will put it on there, so this is just for you guys to talk about, so that you guys can discuss, so yeah, our meeting's on the 13th of November.
Awesome. And, logos.
I created 2 for you guys to look at. I took what you guys suggested last time. No, I think that one too the most. I was more in charge for the mountain one, but that's
like the
just
mountain.
me.
They're both beautiful.
Thank you.
I think you did a great job on both of them. It's,
The black and white one's cheaper, right?
I wasn't thinking about that when I did it, but at the same time, I was like, afterwards, I was like, well, I used a lot of ink on that other one.
yeah, and well, a lot of our stuff will be digital.
Yeah.
So that's free ink. Let's keep moving on this. Let's throw some more, let's do a couple more on that, and we'll pick this up in the retreat as well then. Okay?
All right.
I like these 2 things. You know, and quite frankly, I look at this and I get, on the black and white one, I look at these things and say, love the mountains, and then I think, how many people are gonna say, but it's Fisher's Peak, you know? And so that's the thing you always get when you use something, we're not Spanish peaks, you know, anytime I do any
Yeah, I
of that kind
tried
of
to
stuff.
find one that was more looking like Fisher's Peak. I kind of wanted to I tried to get one that actually said Trinidad, like Simpsons Rest. I couldn't get the picture to sit right, because it
Well,
was mine, and then.
here's the thing, I think what our function will be is to get the mock-up ready.
Yeah,
And then I have no problem, and quite frankly, I think it's a good idea to bring somebody in from the community to say, listen, here's where we wanna go, and maybe do some economic stuff outside of that and say, well, what designer can actually take our concept and fill it in to speak in our voice and what we wanna do and to represent us, you know? So, I
Yeah,
think.
we only have a couple of artists.
Yeah, and again, I think it's respectful to that we're a creative class, you know, we're a creative, you know, kind of a community, so I think it's respectful to them as well. Awesome, Tara, thank you so much for that.
No problem.
And here's the thing, guys, I was the one who told Tara to add the 2 items on the future discussion thing. It
Yeah.
just tells you where my brain is at right now. I totally apologize.
That's all right.
But I had a chance to meet, and Tara Marshall had a chance to meet some folks about a week or so ago from Dana's crowd. They came forward to talk to, and Dana's son was there, a person that's interested in maybe looking at the Columbia Hotel, who's done some of that kind of work before. They brought a, you know, kind of nice, you know, posse down with them, okay? And we had a chance to sit down and visit for a little bit in that. And for me, it was just mainly doing what we're doing right now, is telling them, listen, we're open for business. We don't know how we can help you, but if you'll provide us some guidance of what you want to do, let us know where you're going. We have experts that we can ask on how do we maybe help you get there, or how do we not get there. And in that conversation, since Dana's son was there, I did ask about the Jaffa and said, you know, I'm not getting into the politics of any of this stuff, or the legal stuff with this, but what's your intention? Because I reminded that our intention was, from TURA, the corner, the safety, and the sidewalk. That's really where you're a private foundation, you own it privately, you guys make up your mind with regards to that. But we need some we need some expediency from your side on that corner, on the structure, on the safety, and on the, on the sidewalk, on the cover that's there. And I said, that's what we would, before we have any more conversation, that's how our conversation ended with Lisa, if everybody can remember when we
Yeah.
talked to Lisa a long time ago. That's how it ended with Lisa and Keely. That's where I kind of wanted it to reset. Where it ended is still where we are as a group, but we certainly would like to do that. Again, it's kind of sad when some of these things get played out outside of the locker room, and you start throwing bricks rather than fixing them. And so my hope is that they can come back with some kind of plan. Soon we're supposed to get something from the structural engineer.
The structural report is supposed to be here. It was supposed to be here this week, but Nick reached out. We're waiting to hear back from them to see when they're finished with it. It's a big report, so I know it's gonna take a little time. It's been about 2 weeks, so that's what he said. So I'm hoping before next week we'll hear.
And Tara reminded me that, structural engineers will always say, yes, it can be done. Yeah, that can be fixed, right?
Yep,
It
time
can be the
and
Leaning
money.
Tower of Pizza,
Time
So-
and money.
So I think we're still gonna end up being, what do they really wanna do? And are they going to commit the money to do something with regards to that? And until they present that to us, we're kind of gonna go on our projects that we're doing right now,
Do they own the Colombian as well?
No.
No.
Actually, yes, Dana's group owns that as well,
Dana
yes.
owns the Columbia. Kim Hampton owns the building next to it, the Champions.
Okay.
No, the gentleman that was representing, has the interest in doing that, he certainly seemed like a very legitimate person that's been in that space, has projects in that sphere before, and so I think where they seem to leave it, at least me, is that the price of where the Hilton Garden is helps them try to get to a price of where they need to be for heads and beds, to make the money work. But we also talked about maybe them doing it from the perspective of almost condominiumizing some of it.
Sure.
And you take some of it and you condominiumize it in order to get that's where you get a lot of the development dollars. And from that, then you make the hotel and people that own the condominium, own the room, get a chance to use that whenever they almost think timeshare-ish. And so that was something that we at least tossed around a little bit as just another way. I know that's been done in an area where I lived before, And so, but those are the two things that I wanted to kind of provide an update. Anybody have any comments or questions with regards to either of those?
Is the city of Trinidad about to be sued by the Crawford Foundation?
I don't really want to get into that. We've been asked to stay out of some of that kind of stuff, and it's not our lane.
Okay.
If you want to go to city council and in the 5 minutes ask some of those kind of things, I think we should do that. But I don't think we should be doing anything in the legal question stuff without going to our attorney or let the city go to theirs, if that's okay.
Well, it's just that I was waiting for the structural engineer report, 'cause
We are waiting for that.
Yeah,
we are waiting for that.
And then that will just we're gonna use that to take it to a contractor to get pricing, so we can see what each phase is gonna cost, and if we can help. I mean, we can't help if we don't know value in dollar, if it can be fixed, if it can't be fixed.
If it should be or shouldn't be.
Well, whether it can
The
be fixed
structural
or not, something
engineer
has to be
was,
done.
Well, again,
he was leaning on the fact that it's fixable,
Okay.
so.
Our position has been, well, first of all, both of those sides have legal representation, so we're gonna let their legal representatives kind of guide them on that stuff. And we have an entirely different attorney that focuses on an entirely different set of laws. One of the things that I think the city needs that we should make the city know, is that we're always going to take the kind of the positive and maybe assertive position that we kind of demand that to be addressed from a safety perspective of the citizens that are going there. That is in our service area, that is under our charter, safety and public health and that sort of thing. And I think anytime we have an opportunity, or the city asks us to take the opportunity to push in that regard, I think we need to. I've hesitated to try and engage myself in any of the discussions that's there, because I think that still needs to be in the oven a little longer for other folks. And again, I'm just sad that it went there. We're all kind of in this together, except when you go kind of there. So we'll leave that there and kind of move on. Those would be amazing projects, right?
Okay.
Isn't it nice that we have those kind of projects that we can do something with? All right. And we'll close out the work session. Let's go ahead and welcome to the regular meeting of the Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. Today is October 16th. It is now 6:10. And if anybody's here, and there isn't, if anybody here, we'd ask them to take any conversations outside. And so roll call, please.
All right. Bigley,
Here.
Heck,
Here.
Hallett,
Here?
Welsh,
Here.
McNeil,
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Okay, everybody got a chance to look at the minutes, and so any questions or comments regards to the minutes?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll second that.
awesome. Roll call. Vote.
All right. Thomas,
Yes.
McNeil,
Yes.
Welsh.
Yep.
Hallett,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Bigley.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item 3, acceptance of financial report. And again, when I look at this, I remember when I came here a bunch of years back, it just it wasn't much to look at it because it didn't empower us to do some things. And I think
Yeah.
with the help of the city, with that used lumber building, with some of the things we were able to put together, and with, and I will say this, with having the city manager know that there were some opportunities that we didn't get in the past, that we probably could have gotten in the past, but we didn't know. I think we're in better shape even going forward with what's not reflected on the financial statement anymore. Now, we have a new financial director, and we wanted to get her settled in a little bit. Was she able to provide us with anything that we should really be looking at? Because we're not financial folks here. Was she able to?
She said everything looked good. She said she'll look at the budget when we're ready.
Okay. Does anybody, we all had a chance to look at that, and again, it just encourages me for the opportunity to take advantage of opportunities. Anybody look at that and have any questions?
I had a question
Please.
on the proposed budget, under expenses, the $599,922. Can you explain to me what that really means?
That's just that's the total of all the expenses together. We're separating out the. Now you've got me questioning myself. Okay, I think that was a mistake on my part.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
mistake on my part. It copied it when I was doing the math. I didn't do it in Excel sheet, which I should have. It took it from the renovation projects down. So I will fix that.
Good catch.
Good catch, thank
Yep.
you.
Excellent, good job. You should teach.
Maybe I will.
See, the
Teach,
teacher
right?
came out.
Just
Should've-
grading papers, you
And
know?
he should have given it to me with red marker on it. So that I had a
They
correction.
tell us red is demeaning, so we should use other
You know,
colors.
you should see things when I get back from Audra, when I had her correct me. I always feel like I'm in high school again after she's done with my paperwork.
Okay, and so that was in the budget, and we're gonna take
Yeah.
that up in the retreat. So
Yeah.
we're not voting on that. What we're
No.
looking at right now is the financial report. And so I'll take, if anybody has any other questions with regards to that, thanks, great catch. No, great, that's great. Anybody have any questions with not hearing any? Let's go ahead and take a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the financial report.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. And roll call vote?
All right, let's see, McNeil,
Yes.
Welsh,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Hallett,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
and Bigley.
Yes.
Okay, consideration of bills. I always like this, this one. This is the one where we get to show our appreciation for one TURA B, And quite frankly, that was such a great thing that we were able to do, is to get that position, get some grant funds in there. You know what, when you look at that kind of thing, hey, it worked, And we've been so blessed to have her guiding us here, so
I'll make the motion to approve.
there you go.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's an awesome one to be on. Roll call vote, please.
Thomas,
Yes.
McNeil,
Yes.
Welsh,
Yes.
Hallett,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Bigley.
Yes.
Okay. Petitions or communications, oral, written. The only thing that I know that we got is we got a reply back from the Pine owner saying they were withdrawing.
Yeah.
I've already given an update with regards to the visit I had there. I have nothing else to report on any communications I've received. Tara, do you have anything?
No, that was the only thing I've gotten.
Okay, let's move on. Update by planning assistant.
The only thing is, for the 21st, for lunch, I just need to know what you guys want me to order. Any requests?
I'm a light eater when I'm eating with folks, so just if anybody, I mean, sandwiches or something like that work kind of good for
Sandwiches, I think, and just, you know, go in there and.
Yeah, it's the easiest thing, it doesn't have to be
Heated up.
or,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and
Alrighty.
maybe a veggie
Coffee.
tray.
Veggie tray,
Yeah.
Coffee.
and definitely coffee,
Always
right?
coffee.
I think coffee's everywhere in cities, you know?
I've been a few.
If we just had that coffee budget.
We do at the Welcome Center.
All right, anything else, Sarah?
No, that's it.
Okay. Any of the commissioners have any updates, anything that's on your mind or heart that you want to bring forward? Now's the time.
No. Thank you, Tara, for your invaluable, both of you,
Both Terrace, yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. We were fortunate.
to us.
Terra Square.
We're Terra Square.
Terrace Square. I love
That's
it.
how I put it when there was meetings with the two of us on it, Terra Square.
I love it. I love it. Love it. You know what? It's just so good to have this kind of support.
Yeah.
You know. And then I have no update. Whatever I've had, we've said. So, well, go ahead.
We've not heard from any other, you know, we sent out the letters, we got one response.
We, like I said, I got a response from Miller for the
Savoy.
Savoy. That was it. I haven't heard from Penny Saidi's. I didn't hear from anybody else on commercial. I just, you know, so I just haven't responded.
Yeah,
Paul from, who's I forget Paul's last name, the architect for Dana. We've seen him many times in the past. He's with the Eagles building where Wow Coffee is right now. Him and I had a conversation, I would say shortly after our last meeting, okay? With regards to things they want to do, we had reached out to him. The timing wasn't right for them to do a couple of things with regards to getting in this queue, so I'm hoping us going off till, 21st and giving folks a little more time, we'll do that. But that's a pretty cool project over there, and I look forward to them sharing that, especially that and the little pavilion that's next there. I know Terra Squared knows about that. And to be able to activate something like that outside of the core area, I think would be something for us to really get a chance to look at. So I'm hoping they do that, but nothing official. That was something he said, we'd love to do that, but he's not come forward with that. I think he's got other things.
He's one of the architects for the Holy Trinity project, so
Yeah.
he's a little busy at the moment.
Okay, but that's there. Okay, hearing nothing else, let's hear a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You should.
Second that.
Yes, we're adjourned.